Greetings, friends. It's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush and another collage. This time I picked some roses. I've been staring at the winter landscape long enough that it's starting to get me down, and I decided I wanted some flowers. So I pulled out a photo reference out of my very large file folders of photos, and I drew 3 pink roses. The background's fairly simple. I'm just going to put some tan behind some dark leaves and leave it at that. I want the focal point to be the main pink rose right in the front. And my mom gave me this very old atlas. I mean, this atlas has been around since I was 10 years old, and that would make it 60 years old. Many of the countries are different. The borders are different. Even some of the cities are completely different. So I started cutting it up. It's got good color, so I'm going to use it for my background, and even some of my roses. I always start with the background. It just feels like, saving the dessert for last. If I get the background out of the way, then I can concentrate on my fun focal point. And in this case, the background was kind of fun too, being that I got to use some of the atlas pieces. You can see that I pull out a bunch of colors that I think I will use, set them to one side, and then decide whether I'm going to use them. I want some very dark greens behind my roses to give it good contrast, because the roses are a very light pink. But in some cases, the background leaves look black, which, it's not a bad thing, because I'm putting green around and over some of those black pieces. And in most cases, it's really not black. It's a very, very dark green. Now I cut a few little strips for the vein down the center of some of the leaves. Interesting how the leaves on roses often have a lot of red in them. In the veins, and sometimes in the perimeter edges around the leaves. And so it is time to start on the roses. Now I have started with the shadowed areas first, and then I'll put the light parts on. It seems like every time I do a rose, I do it a little bit different. Sometimes I start on the outside petals and work my way in. Sometimes I start on the inside and work my way out. And I haven't decided what's the best method. because each time I do it, it seems like, though it's different, it's easier or harder, depending on where I am in the picture. Often right in the middle of a collage, I'll look at it and get very disinterested, like, oh, this is looking awful, it's not going anywhere, I think I give up, I'm going to throw it away and start over. Actually, it's that middle part, that transition of any picture I'm working on that feels that way. Where right in the middle, I feel like I have messed it all up, it's not going anywhere, it's looking awful. That transition is the hardest spot. It's making sure you don't give up and throw it away. I have a few pieces that I have set to one side and given up on, and then when I pull it back out later, I see potential and start again, and it starts to look good, it starts to work. So, never throw it away just because you think it's just terrible, because often it's just in that transition. Keep going. Keep pushing it. It's coming. It's going to all work out. So with this main rose, I've tried to put in shadow, middle tone, highlights, lights and highlights. So I've got lots of colors going on. Shades of different pinks and dark reds. But on the two roses that are behind, I don't want them to fight for the attention, so I did not put deep shadows or highlights. Just a lot of middle ground and slight shadows. You'll see when we get there. This pink page out of the atlas is a whole part, a page of Canada. I think it's Ontario. But it was pink, and a very nice shade of pink too. So most of that rose is Canada. I've put in a little orange also. Many times a rose will be translucent, where the light will shine through the petals and give a glow of that orange center that you can't really see, but is down in there. And it makes some of the petals glow orange in the shadow areas. So now I'm starting on the rose that's up there behind my main pink rose. I'm using some of the same pink, but I'm muting the shadows so that they're not so deep. Still putting in a little orange. So finally, we're just about at the end of this rose picture. I put in a few words, but here it is. My main focal point and the two background roses, much softer and fainter. What do you think? Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. I certainly appreciate all of my viewers. Do give me a thumbs up and perhaps subscribe. Bye, everyone. I'll see you all next time. Have a good week.